What it do, what it do. Today we're gonna talk about growth, right? Growth is the only thing that life is about. That's your purpose, right? And no matter what you will do, the end goal must always be growth, because growth is what ensures survival. Growth is it's pre-programmed within you. Whenever you enter the world, that's the only thing, like, you need to grow. And it's everything is within growth. Growth is within everything, right? But it also has the downside. Growth also has the downside, and that's decay. But even if you're decaying, the end goal is still growth. And I need to explain this a bit more better, right? I need to explain this better. The way how we grow and how we ensure survival is through contraction and expansion. If I go to the gym and I hit the bench press, that's contraction. But I can contract the entire day, and that won't ensure growth, right? I need to expand. I need to take a rest from the contraction and let my body do the work. That will ensure growth. And the way it's within everything. Sex is just contraction until the man ejaculates, and that's expansion. The expansion of his seed, right? The expansion of his basically seed. The seed is an expansion of himself, and that's how growth, that's basically the science, not even the science, the principles of growth. And now when we understand contraction and expansion, now we need to talk about why even the bad habits are focused on contraction and expansion. So you can have sex. Sex is contracting and eventually expanding once you reach a climax. And that's the climax is the top point of the contraction. Once the contraction released, once the contraction reached its end point, it needs to expand. So that is when the pressure is built up to a certain, the pressure is built up to a certain point, it needs to ejaculate. And this is just a example that's easy to understand, but it is within everything. So like I've said, it also got its downside, but the principle still is the same: contraction and expansion. So you can have sex, but you can also masturbate, and that would be, if you do that too often, it would be considered a bad habit, right? But the principle will still be the same, because you're contracting, so you're all tensed up, you're and expanding, ejaculating. But the principle is still the same, because what you want at that current moment is still growth. And whether that be growth from like your current state, maybe your current mindset is just too harsh, and you see that you use this as an escape, but seeking an escape is still seeking growth. Basically, it's still seeking growth, because growth is just expanding from your current state. So going to the next level, going to the next step, stepping out of your current state and enter a better one, a bigger one, a greater one. That's growth. And that's also what you're seeking when you're doing these bad habits. Whether you're smoking, right? You're smoking, you're contracting, and then you're releasing to like you're expand, and then you reach your point where you feel like high or something, and now you enter the state of expansion, the state of relax. So once you understand those things, you can basically start to hardwire your mind, because we're all doing the same things. And that's also the point of no separation, non-duality. We're all doing the same things. You're not the same, you're not different from him or him or her, because the principles of contraction and expansion are the same. We are just on the other side of it, but it's not different because we're still living life through the same principles, which are those of contracting and expansion, seeking growth. Why people stay in their comfort zone is because of this. Their comfort zone feels for them as growth, because stepping out of the comfort zone maybe means that their current mindset need to die, and it will feel safer for them to stay in that current mindset and basically tell themselves that they're like growing when they're in that mindset, because they're like ensuring survival. That's what they're doing. They're ensuring survival of that current mindset, that current mentality. So all those things are really the same. It's not, it's we live in a non-duality. We live in the all. It's all the same basically, only different metrics and different measurements and different experiences, but the entire, like, the vast universe, it's at the end of the day is all the same. So like I've said, once you understand contraction and expansion, you need to really hardwire your mind, and like basically, instead of the bad habits, seek the better habits. And that's like some cliche shit, you already know this, but I'm gonna give you a good example. Creation starts mentally, and it becomes physical through the process that I just told you about, contracting and expansion and expanding, right? We're gonna go back to the sex example. It will still start mentally, even though sex is physical. It starts mentally because you first need to get horny, right? You first need to get horny. You first need to get horny, in the sense that the thing that you wanna manifest in the physical world needs to be created on the mental aspect. All is mental. And so growth also starts on the mental aspect. So you first need to have a mental image of what you want to reach, and we would call that a goal. So you need to set for yourself a goal, and this goal needs to be small, because the reason why people don't reach their goals is because they can't bridge the gap from their goals to reality, because their goals are either too great, or sometimes they're not even great, but they don't feel capable enough. So that basically comes down to the same. It's for them, it feels too great, too big to achieve. So it needs to be small. It needs to be attainable, but it needs to be a challenge. So because it's not a goal if you don't have to work to it. Like, for me, reaching this bottle, this should never be my goal. Why? Because I can do it right here, right now. I can just boom. So it's not a goal. This is just like an action. And to reach a goal is something that requires multiple actions during, like, for a current amount of time. That's reaching a goal. It's different than taking an action. The multiplication of taking actions will bring you to your goal, but a single action not. So you need to create on the mental aspect. So that's setting a goal for yourself, a simple project, and not simple but attainable, but you need to work for it. So you don't underestimate yourself when it comes to this. It's probably the one that you're trying to dodge that project you've probably been thinking about before. Yes, that's the project that you probably need to work upon. So you choose that project, and the growth aspect. So to make your mental aspects, or your mentality, into reality, still comes down to the two principles of growth that I just explained to you: contraction and expansion. Contraction is is like focusing on new skills. So you're let's say I'm learning math, which basically I was learning math over here. So what I'm doing is I'm contracting on the skill of math. So that's contraction. I'm focusing. My attention is contracted on this paper, on this course, on this tutorial. And but that's not the thing, because a lot of people will fall into tutorial hell. Bro, you can watch all the videos about math without doing actual math on your own. You will never reach math, because like just, and that's just the then we will go to the principles of growth, and that's just basically only focusing on the thing is like the feminine aspect of growth. And we need a feminine and masculine to actually like have sex and have growth. This is just like metaphorically speaking. So you need the yin and yang to have actual growth, right? It needs to be in balance. So that's why a lot of people fall into tutorial, but without actual realizing your knowledge, you will never grow, you will never reach anything. So what you need to do is, you have the goal, which is the mental aspect. Then you're gonna contract on the skills. So focus on the skills that you need to learn to realize that project. And this is the most important thing. Now you need to expand your contraction. So expand your contraction is just letting your creativity roam free to actually realize the thing that you're working upon. And that's the most important thing that you need to do. So you have the project in mind. And you have the project in mind, the mental aspect. You contract on the skills that you need in order to realize the project. And now you expand it through projectizing your knowledge. And that's the thing that will bring you to the level of actual realization. Now you're able to realize your mentality. And that's basically the creator mode. That's the creator mode. Now you become a creator. Why? Because you can go through the entire sequence of creation, which is, it starts on the mental aspect, and you can eventually actually really manifest it on a physical, in the physical form through projectizing. And that's why you will fall in a flow state, because Michael, I don't even know, the name of the book is Flow. The author has like a crazy Hungarian name, something like that. And he says, when skill and challenge are like on an equal level, so you have the skill but it still is like a challenge, then you will fall in a flow state. Why? Because now contraction and expansion are balanced. The yin and yang are balanced. Now you are able to bridge the gap from mentality to reality. You become a creator. You're one with the all, because you're able to expand through the vast universe of the all. Like, and yeah, that's basically like the entire goal of life. Ensuring growth, contracting in order to expand, in order to grow. And those principles, it comes down to everything. If you want to grow your business, contraction and expansion. If you want to grow muscles, contraction and expansion. If whatever you want to do, if you want to make a child, contraction and expansion. And it still all comes down to the mental aspect. So yeah, that's the thing. And yeah, that's basically the thing, man. And the important thing is, don't fall in the trap of mental masturbation. Mental masturbation is just you never realizing your mentality. So you never realizing the things that you create in your mind, and it will kill your confidence. Why? Because you don't have any confidence that you're able to actualize whatever comes in your mind. So now you won't also you also like condition yourself to not trust your mind, because you can manifest the things that your mind basically creates. So in that level, your skill and like your contraction and expansion aren't in a good in like a good balance. And it's important for you to know where you are, because sometimes you will tell yourself that you need another course, but oftentimes you don't need another course. If your knowledge is already on the point that you can start, just start. Don't tell yourself, no, I need to know more and more and more. No, just start. Why? Because now you will really learn things, because of course you're not a pro, so you're gonna run into problems, but now you can actually Google the thing, or like seek out help for the thing that you're struggling with, and now you will really learn. Why? Because the thing that you're learning, you can actually imply it immediately. So that will solidify your knowledge, just because basically watching an entire tutorial without doing nothing, bro, I can tell you in about 3 days you don't know nothing. Before the course ends, bro, like you don't even know like the start to, like, you only know like the last two videos of the course. So yeah, that's important, man. So this is the principles of growth. This is what you're looking for. This is how you can escape your problems. This is how you can access creative mode. This is how you can, it all comes down to this. This is how you can be one with the universe, because the only principle of the universe is ensuring growth. And that's also what you need to do on the individual level as a human, in order to contribute to the universe and harness your own power. So that was my video. If you wanna see more videos like this, subscribe. Yeah, check out my other videos. Leave a comment what you think about this video, what you want to see more, and I'm gonna leave my bio of Twitter I'm gonna leave my Twitter account in the bio, so you can check that out. I write on Twitter and things like that, so check that out. And that was my video. I'm out.